Hello, how you doing? Today, I want to talk to you guys about how to control your mind, how to control your thoughts, and in return, that will help you control your body, your environment. Okay. So, what I have studied on the mind and how the mind works, you know about the consciousness and the subconscious. That's basically how we operate in this physical body. Okay? I feel like that, yeah, we are spirits. We're put into a body. But basically, the spirit don't have a lot of power unless it knows about itself. Right? Unless you know about God and the kingdom of heaven or that other dimension, you basically are just pre-programmed. Okay? And that's what they do in this world. They send you to school to learn the basics on how to function in this world. Your mom and dad teaches you the basics, but basically, you really have to understand how that system operates. Okay, I'll make it simple. You know, like I say, you got the consciousness and you got the subconscious. Subconscious is like a library of information. Okay. It's like stored up information. It's where you learn from your parents, from your friends, from your school, okay? And then your conscious is what you see day to day. It's how you live it. And then when you get to that certain subject, you look at the stored information, and it gives you thoughts, okay? And how, I'm going to teach you how to control that. The ancient Egyptians knew about that too. They called it the Ka and the Ba, okay? And that's something that you might want to research and study on. But what I've learned, I'm gonna just keep it basics, the basics, okay? I remember hearing a cat say, heaven and hell is a state of mind when you're in the earth. It's just a state of mind, right? If you're not in another dimension, okay, and you have heaven. Heaven is up there with God, and where you have righteousness and truth. And being away from that, they almost call that spiritual death, is being away from God. All right? Okay. So this is what I'm gonna tell y'all about your mind. Okay. First of all, you have to understand that you're being programmed all the time. Either you're gonna program yourself or somebody else is gonna program. When you're looking at television, when you're looking at movies, you're listening to friends, especially when you're young and you get emotions, that's basically you're being programmed. Good or bad, you're being programmed. And as you grow up, you learn to rely on those programs if you know it or not. Okay? So what you want to start doing is learning about what's going into your head and what you're listening to. Okay? Think of it like a pie. And it's like a pizza, like a pie. You know what I'm saying? And it's all divided up. You just got to make sure what's getting put into those, into your brain cells, that it's something that you want. Make sure, don't put in anything that's negative. If you put in, I hate this person, or you got friends that I don't like this, or I don't like that. You ever remember couples that the husband would get mad at the girlfriends, the girlfriends would get mad at the guy's old friends? Okay. Well, that's what you want to make sure that you kind of stay away from that, because a lot of that is negative. And when you around that negativity, it tends to rub off or get into your brain cells. You're being programmed with that same information. Okay? So you got to stay away from that. You got to basically program yourself to positiveness. Okay? Put positive things in your mind. If you're watching negative stuff on television, make sure you stay away from that. Okay? Put positive things in there. Okay? Basically, it's learning how to meditate on positiveness, staying in positive environments. Okay? I look at the world like on levels. Level 1 is that rough level where people are doing, letting their anger and body basically control them off of human nature. Level 2 is that, you got a little bit more control and you're a little bit more educated. Level 3, you're very educated, or spiritually or financially, and you have a lot more control. And that's where you want to get to. And then you got the spiritual levels. Okay? A lot of times we don't learn on spiritual levels, and that's what we need to know. And that's basically what I'm trying to teach you now, is to learn to be on a spiritual level. And to be on that spiritual level, in your mind, you got to have a part of your brain, that pie. You got to make sure you have a part of that brain that's on a spiritual foundation. Okay, like it's like when God created heaven. He created them with a spiritual foundation of righteousness and truth. That's what you got to have to make any of this work. Okay, you got to stand on that foundation, that spiritual foundation, to be able to make the other work, to be able to control your mind and to control what you want going into your mind. And once you do that, it's not like a get rich quick type thing. It's a learning it over a period of time. And the more you do it, the easier to get. You'll hear a thought come to your head, and you'll tell it to go. You'll tell it to no, I don't want that thought. Don't come back, and it'll obey you. Okay. It's just like for all these sexual addiction, you got a sexual addiction, a gambling addiction. If you take something in and you enjoy it a whole lot and it gets into your brain cells, it's hard to get that back out. Okay? So you got to be careful of how you hear things. That's what the Bible said. Be careful of how you hear things, because that's the way it's going to be met back to you. Okay? So basically, just be careful of the things you're listening to, the things you're hearing, your friends. If you got negative family and friends, are they negative? It's time for them to go. Okay? Now, I ain't saying get rid of them, but I'm saying you can just keep your distance from them, because you know you don't want that negativity getting into your brain. And that's what you got to protect. You got these people constantly talking about terrorists and all this nonsense. Okay, whatever these folks and got themselves into, they refuse to go over to that other side and talk and have a sit-down meeting. They're not going to do that. Okay? So they're going to keep this stuff for I don't know how long. You got to protect yourself. Don't sit and watch that stuff all day. And let somebody tell you, I had to climb over somebody, they shot me, and I had to... If that's real or not, don't sit there and listen to all that. I mean, you can take a little of that in and let that mess go, because that's fear. And we don't want to operate in this world off of fear. Okay? God is love, truth, and that's what we should be basing it on. Okay? Sure, I mean, you can protect yourself and take precautions about certain situations like that, but you don't let that stuff consume you. You see what I'm saying? If it's music or whatever it does to calm you down, that's what you want to be in. Okay? And like I say, if you think about a lot of serial killers and all that stuff comes into their brain when they're kids. A lot of that stuff comes in when they're kids. It comes in like a little seed. And once it gets planted, think of your mind like the ground. Once it gets planted, it's going to grow. And if it's a negative, it'll keep getting worse and worse till eventually you either kill somebody, kill yourself, or they lock you up for the rest of your life. And that's what you got to be careful of getting those negative thoughts in. They like seeds, and protect it. When you hear a negative thought come in, you say, no, I don't deal with that. And if it's in there, you tell it to get out. If it tells you, you don't like that, this, when you drive it, people make you mad and you get upset, you're like, no, it don't. And you start changing that. And your environment will slowly start to change. Okay? You'll start to see things different. You'll start to drive more easily. Your peace of mind will come back. You know what I'm saying? And all them negative things you learned as a kid, that'll start to drift away. And you'll start taking control back of your body and in your mind. Okay? But I hope I tried to touch everything, but hopefully that'll help you, brothers and sisters. Okay? And I'm pretty sure in the future I'll make something else about it. Okay? Peace.